Kaiju is a term we use in Yu-Gi-Oh! For any monster that has the ability to tribute one of your opponent's monsters to give it to your opponent. Like, for example, this. Oh, not this one. This. Not this one. This. All are examples of Kaijus. For obvious reasons. Bleeding Dragon of Brawl Spirit Mode, Lava Golem, another couple of examples of Kaijus. But wait, what makes Kaijus unique and very powerful is the lack of a semicolon inside of their attribute your opponent's monster effect. And yes, I am aware that most of them don't have that semicolon or colon, so they don't actually activate. Kaijus only tribute one monster. There can only be one Kaiju on either side of the field, and you can special summon a Kaiju from your hand for free. Kaiju on your opponent's side of the field. Then each Kaiju has their own individual effect. That effect depends on the Kaiju. It expands Kaiju counters, which all three of these cards, their only purpose effectively is to get you Kaiju counters. Then each monster has their own effect. Like, for example, this one. When a card or effect is activated that targets one card and no others, quick effect. You can remove 3 Kaiju counters from anywhere on the field. Negate that effect, and if you do, destroy that card on the field. Do note how this does have to expend your Kaiju counters from anywhere on the field. So if you get this to your opponent, and you try to target anything, your opponent can use your Kaiju counters. Which definitely has never happened before. Nope. Never. Next, we have Thunder King, whose unique effect makes it so your opponent cannot activate card or effects for the rest of the turn for 3 Kaiju counters. And it can make 3 attacks on monsters during the battle phase this turn. But it's spell speed 1, which is its only disadvantage. If it can be used in response to your opponent's card effect, it would be much better. But this has to be manually activated by you. I'm going to skip the anti-Kaiju card. We have the Mad Flame Kaiju, which, for 3 Kaiju counters, once per turn, can destroy every monster your opponent controls. But it can't attack that turn, so it's a better obelisk. My personal favorite of the Kaijus. You can use 3 Kaiju counters as a quick effect, once per turn, to half the attack and defense of every other monster. That includes yours and your opponent's, so be careful. And if you get this to your opponent, and there's 3 Kaiju counters available, this can very much be abused. My next favorite is Gamma Seal, who can, whenever your opponent activates a card or effect, except Gamma Seal, the Sea Turtle Kaiju, quick effect, you can remove 2 Kaiju counters from anywhere on the field, negate the activation, and if you do, banish that card. So we have an Omni-Negate that banishes? What? Why isn't this used more? Oh, it only has 2,200 attack points. And if we put it on the field, we can't bring out any more Kaiju monsters. You would think Kaiju Gamma Seal Control would be good, but using Control with just this thing is so much better. I'm gonna skip our anti-Kaiju card. This thing can make a token. It has the same attack stats as it does for 2 Kaiju counters, but it cannot be used as that token can't be used as synchro material. Pretty basic. This is the one I usually give to my opponent, because that is the second lowest attack points, and I'm not giving my opponent a non-once per turn Omni-Negate that will banish my cards. I'm not doing that. This card, when your opponent normally special summons a monster, you can move 2 Kaiju counters from anywhere on the field until the end phase of the next turn. That card can't attack, and it has its effects negated. So, this can effectively turn off one card if your opponent summons it, and there's 2 Kaiju counters in the field, which sounds pretty good. But remember, for just sacrificing 200 attack power, you can have Gamma Seal, who's an Omni-Negate, and also uses 2 Kaiju counters. It doesn't care if the monster is summoned. Right now, unless this will never come up, I can promise you this. This does not work on flip summoning, which is not a normal summoning or a special summon. It just doesn't work. We did miss 2 Kaiju monsters, as these ones are special. Super Anti-Kaiju War Mech Thunder King. Whew. Definitely not complicated. During the main phase, as a quick effect, you can discard this card, banish 1 Kaiju monster you control that is owned by your opponent. Then you can special summon 1 monster from your graveyard. You can only control 1 Kaiju monster. This card is unaffected by other Kaiju card effects. Also, it can't be destroyed by battle with a Kaiju monster. During the end phase, if this card is in your graveyard, you can special summon this card. You can only use this effect once per duel. So, it's a monster that it's not a you play Kaijus and then you punish your opponent. It's if your opponent plays Kaijus, they get punished. Like this monster, which cannot be normal summoned, unlike all of our other Kaijus, which can very easily be normal summoned, even this thing. It must be special summoned from your hand while your opponent controls a Kaiju monster. So pretty similar to the rest of the Kaijus. It has the same, you can only control one of them effect. Note, these and this are supposed to be, like, anti-Kaiju cards. This one exists which just can't be unaffected by your opponent's Kaijus. This one makes it so you can remove 2 Kaiju counters from the field, equip 1 Kaiju monster from your hand or graveyard to this card. This card gains attack equal to the combined original attack of all the Kaiju monsters equipped to this card by this effect. Now, does that sound like anti-Kaiju to you? Because it doesn't to me. It just sounds like a big beat stick. Like, this one penalizes your opponent for playing Kaijus. This one penalizes you if you don't play Kaiju. We do have a few spells and traps. Interrupted Kaiju's Slumber is a dark hole that places a Kaiju on both players' field. But they must attack if able and can't change their battle positions. It also has an effect where during your main phase, except the turn this card was sent to the graveyard, you can banish this card from your graveyard, add 1 Kaiju monster from your deck to your hand. Those effects, you can only activate 1 of these per turn. I'm gonna move on to Waterfront. Each summon card is sent from the field to the graveyard. Place 1 Kaiju counter on this card. For each card set, maximum of 5. Okay, so it's an easy way to get tons of Kaiju counters. Once per turn, while you have 3 or more Kaiju counters on this card, you can add 1 Kaiju monster from your deck to your hand. So, it's a Rhoda that can just it's a Rhoda for your archetype. That's pretty cool. If this card would be destroyed by a card effect, you can remove 1 Kaiju counter from this card instead. So it has self-protection, tons of ways to get Kaiju counters, and a searcher for your deck? Wait a minute. What do you mean this isn't a Kaiju card? Why isn't there a Kaiju in the name? Come on. You gotta made it easier to search. Yeah, we don't really have cards on our deck that just searches whatever Kaiju we want. So yeah, doesn't really matter if it's named Kaiju. Unlike the Kaiju file, where each time a Kaiju monster is special summoned from the hand and or graveyard, plays 1 Kaiju counter on this card, max 5. That max 5 sounds familiar for some reason. Once per turn, you can target 1 Kaiju monster on the field. Destroy that monster, then special summon 1 Kaiju monster with a different original name from your deck to its controller's field. Which does mean you can just give your opponent a new Kaiju if you don't like their Kaiju. Or, you don't like your Gamma Seal? Replace it. Go for it. You can send this card with 3 or more Kaiju counters to your graveyard. Add 1 Kaiju spell trap from your deck to your hand, except itself. Now we're going into why it's bad this card isn't named a Kaiju card. Because this searches it. What else does it search? This or this. It can't search itself, can't search this. If you can't tell, I really don't like when field spell cards that are a part of one archetype aren't named. It just... why? But it actually works, this card works... meh. Its own effect does not give it Kaiju counters, but it does not need Kaiju counters for its effect. This effect. And notably, if you want to, you can give your opponent a weak Kaiju like this. Then, you have your own really powerful Kaiju. You summon this to your field. After you do that, you switch out for a Gamma Seal, and just hope your opponent to do their best. Start getting yourself Kaiju counters, and hope. Yeah, that's all you really got. And Capture Mission is our only trap. It says, as once per turn, if it has 3 or less Kaiju counters on it, you can target 1 Kaiju monster on the field, change the face down defense position. Then it gains 1 Kaiju counter, maximum 3. If this card in your possession is destroyed by an opponent's card and sent to the graveyard, you can draw 2 cards. I thought Pedigree was banned. But its first effect can slowly generate you some more Kaiju counters, once per turn, of course. So if you look at a lot of these Kaijus, some of them don't have pretty good defense. If you want to give your opponent a Mad Flame Kaiju, lure it to defense, destroy it. That's most of it. That's the entire archetype. Plus a few more. This is my personal favorite version of running this deck. Yep, it's a 60 card pile. We have 2 of these, 2 of these, 3 of these, 2 of these, 3 of these. We also have a Kashtira Unicorn, 3 Kashtira Fenrir, a Wandering Griffin Rider, an Illegal Knight, 3 Water Transfers of the Temple, 3 Rite of Animaster. We have 2 Faithful Adventurer, 1 Dracoback. So we have an entire line. So we can go into a negate, which is pretty cool. And we also play 1 Druid Worm, 3 Magnemite, and we have 3 Ultimate Slayer, just in case you need it. We have a Harpy's Feather Duster, Terraforming for this. Don't add this. 3 Potter Prosperity, 3 Interrupted Kaiju Slumber, 1 Grave Called by the Grave, 1 Set Rotation. You give your opponent the Necro Valley, by the way. No, and I should mention, we have Necro Valley in our deck. We also have 3 the Kaiju File. We have 3 Summon Limit, which makes it so our opponent can only summon twice. Which is fine for us, because we don't summon that often, unless we're going for a Adventure line. There can only be 1. Doesn't really affect us. Let's check. Thunder, Dinosaur, Insect, Aqua. Insect, 1 overlap. It's not like we ever want both of these on the field, though. Then we have 3 Kaiju Capture Mission. Moving on to the extra deck. We have 3 Winged Pegasus and 3 Elder Entity Nestis. Might notice something. Why do we have rank 4 Exceeds monsters? Well, we can use, no. Maybe this? No. Wait. We can't use anything? Yeah. We can go in with some of our level 8s. We can go into this. But we're never going to these. If you want to replace these with something, go for it. And same with this. All of our Link monsters are really just there for Ultimate Slayer and Pot of Prosperity. Extra deck, I have 3 Lightning Storm, 3 Triple Tactics Talent, 2 Cosmic Cyclone, 3 Dark Brewer No More, This is illegal. And 3 Ghost Bell. Just give me 1 sec. Copy that. Paste. Okay, that's better now. We have 3. What is it called again? Cosmic Cyclone. But it's all fine and dandy, telling you what a deck has in it. So I might as well show you. It is difficult doing a test hand with Kaiju, because we normally want to give our opponent monsters. This. This. We add this. We don't need this, do we? I should have got rid of this. Summon this. Faithful Adventure, yes. Equip to this. Set this. Right now we got a Omni-Negate? Yeah. Omni-Negate, a useless, maybe a +2 if our opponent decides to Harpy Feather Justice us. So not a bad way to play. I'm gonna go again. Loading. I wonder. Well, with this kind of hand, summon, effect, add to hand, activate, set, pass turn. You normally want to go second with this deck, if it hasn't been obvious yet. Set, not bad. But test hands are fine if you just want to see what kind of hands your deck can get, but that doesn't really help you when you want to know how to play the deck. Oops. Wrong button. Nope. If you ever see someone here that has this name, just always expect paper. Ooh, got set rotation. My side of the field goes first. My opponent's is next. Activate this. This is a problem if our opponent doesn't manage to get rid of this, because now we can't activate any cards. But what we can do is give our opponent this, and now we get this. Oops, I did not mean to click summon. Well, too late now. Attack with this. Attack with this. Pass turn. And now we can't activate a field spell. But I can just special this in defense mode real quick. I can activate this. No, I cannot. But I do get Unicorn. To check my opponent's extra deck for... What do I get rid of? This? Yeah, sure. End turn. I felt like surrendering was the best option. Not a bad hand on its own. We activate this, grabbing Waterfront. Activate it. Now we think, do we give our opponent the Omni Negate that we're going to just destroy immediately? The answer is yes. Then we special summon this to our field, which is really something you don't want to do often. Battle. Attack with this into this. And we have a second Kaiju counter. So we can now just shut off a monster. Set 2, pass. That's something we don't want to see. And we like to have our field spell. So let's shut off your effects. Well, damn. We sort of just have to let this happen. But hey, we could do Kaiju counters, so we're fine. Nope, we're at 3 now. I'll let my opponent summon their monster. And I'll use 2 Kaiju counters to make sure their effect doesn't work. And 2 more Kaiju counters to make sure that effect doesn't work. I'm out of Kaiju counters, so, well, time to put my monster face down. And gain some Kaiju counters out of that. Well, Ultimate Slayer. I'll give her a Cowboy. Put that back. Magnemite. I'll get rid of that from Bones Graveyard. So this. I haven't made Magnemite's effect. I could battle. I'm not going to. We don't like to see that. But it does let us draw 2. And there's another Kaiju counter over here. Capture Mission. And actually it's a pretty good card to draw. If one tries to revive anything, we can't get rid of it easily. Yep, can't stop that. And we can stop that. As long as I can remember what his target was. Target, Blue Eyes, Alternative White Dragon. And oh look, we have 5 Kaiju counters. Fun. And that's not as fun. Make sure we real quickly get rid of our opponent's monster. And now it's time to add whatever Kaiju we want to our hand. I'm gonna add this, because it's my favorite. But our opponent has no monster. That, and that. Not bad. These can go back wherever they want. Activate. Activate. And activate this. Activate this. So if I think I'll go for the Wandering Griffin Rider, because my opponent has almost no resources right now. Except going to be 2. Summon the Griffin Rider into defense mode. Fateful Adventure. To hand. Pass turn. That's a resource. Not gonna let that happen. We know our opponent's the only card in our opponent's hand right now is, so we're fine. This to hand. This is useless. I'm gonna throw you to attack mode. Summon you. Summon this, I think. Getting rid of that. This is useless because we won't be able to add anything. But I can still battle. I should add a Kaiju. I'll add you. End turn. Oh, wait, this can add from graveyard? Oh, okay. Also, what was his target? Hope Harbinger. Yeah, that's getting negated. With all due haste. I'm not even going to take a moment to stop. Draco back. Draco back's effect. Attach it to this. Okay, good. Oh, I thought that misclick would have been the end of me. Prosperity. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And just realizing I have game on field. Realizing, oh, this is not stuff I need to do. Battle. Attack directly. And I won't stop. Let my opponent do whatever they. Okay, wow. Whew. Yeah, that's an end turn. Probably gonna lose. I will not be surprised if my opponent manages to OTK me. I have one little piece of protection, and that's about it. Oh, nope, can't stop that. Can't stop that either. Can't stop that. Can't stop that. Nope, can't stop that. Can't stop that. And I survived! Root Swarm to hand. And it just so happens that my opponent's monster that can normally switch out quickly if I activate an effect no longer matters. Now, I'm going to summon this to my field. Opponent's Blue Eyes White Dragon is a problem. So what do we do about it? I know exactly what we do about it. Attack him with this. Main 2, activate this. Switch this out for a new monster. I'll switch it for a 3,300 attack point beater. And hope my opponent can't get over this. Yeah, that would work. Can't stop that. Oh, attacking me? Okay. I'll banish. What do I banish? You. Depends on it. Minimum's effect. Activate this in response. Banish you. Summon you. Your Swarm's effect. Destroy you. Add this to hand. Special this on top of this. Special this. You can destroy both my opponent's monsters. Or just attack. Do this. Huh. I can give her my opponent's Blue Eyes White Dragon. Right now. We'll interrupt a Kaiju Slumber, adding that to hand. Or I could just switch my Kaiju out and grab myself an Omnigate. Passing turn. It only works once though. I'm not gonna stop it yet. You activate your effect. Go for it. Now you will activate your effect, don't you? That's something I can actually take care of. I don't know which one he's targeting. I think he's targeting this one. I hope he's targeting that one. Nope. I'll let you know, I would have won that if I knew which Blue Eyes White alternative White Dragon my opponent was targeting in their graveyard. I have a very triggered on this channel. Huh. Well, next time I just have to play meta. And hey, if you want to see me play meta, maybe ask for it in the comments. And click that like button, and I might think about it even more. Have fun playing this monstrosity of a deck. Oh dear gods.